features on him, that your letters and calls, those of you in the community who cared about Nev, were a source of support for him. Our condolences to his wife, Cindy, and his children, Scott and Ashley. He was beloved by this community, by us, and most of all, of course, by his family. Nev Chandler was 47 years old.
And you know, while he battled cancer, he came back every chance that he could. He worked all the time. I think he truly loved Cleveland sports. This is where he wanted to be, in here doing it whenever he could, and he was great at it every time that he did it.
Certainly didn't want you to feel sorry for him, and I'll tell you what, the memory that will stick with me is when I started here at News Channel 5 a little less than 3 years ago, and I was filling in for the big show, a weeknight show, and I was a little nervous, and Nev looked over to me, and Nev is not one to give compliments unless he thinks you deserve them, and I'm still talking in present tense here. He said, "You're going to be okay, kid, because I've seen you do it on the weekend, and you're going to be just fine. You're going to be all right. Stick with it." And when someone like Nev, who, you know, really was a giant, in my mind anyway, having grown up watching him, when he says that, it's something that you hold on to.
I remember Nev is a couple of times, you know, you could joke with Nev. Nev and I used to always compare ties for nothing else. We just used to always, and you could always pass him in the hall and in 5 seconds just have a nice conversation. But I remember the thing that the first month I was here, Tanya, I thought to myself, this man really knows sports, and he knows Cleveland sports. And not that that should be a surprise, but as you well know, this is a business where sometimes people wind up in places, maybe not for the reasons that they know it, but for some other reason. This man knew sports in this town better than anybody, and I think he showed that every time he did a sportscast, you know, for sure.
He wasn't a put-on. He was real. You know it because you watched him and you loved him. You may not have agreed with him all the time with some of his views with sports, but he was a strong man, and we will miss him. And right. Having lost my own father, I really send my condolences out to his children and his wife, because it's rough, but you hold on to those good memories. And it sounds like a cliche phrase, but when you think of Nev, as Bob said it, you think of the cantankerous perfectionist. That's what he was. And
yeah, that's how we'll remember him. There was a wonderful piece that Ted Henry did to open our show that Bob Stevens will run coming up in Sports Sunday on Nev Chandler, and we invite you to stay around for that and Sports Sunday. Thank you for joining us. Good night.
Good night, everyone.